According to my watch, it is 12 o'clock noon at World Dairy Expo on, what are we, day 3 of the 50th anniversary celebration. And it is a real pleasure and an honor to be here today to present a virtual farm tour for this year's very special program. First off, before we go too much further, we all know we have these things, right? Vibrate, please. I would sure appreciate it. Okay. I'm Sherry Bear. I am Director of Development for the American Jersey Cattle Association and National All Jersey Incorporated. We're based in the Reynoldsburg, Ohio suburb of Columbus, okay? So you kind of know where we're at. We're going to take a different approach here as opposed to programs that we have done previously. There's not going to be a whole lot of cow pictures in this program today. There's going to be a lot of discussion about what you do with the product of Jersey cows. And so one of the things is we're going to talk about direct retailing. You know, having the market, you have the product, and now what is it that you have to have in your operation or yourself as the owner or the manager to be to put yourself out there? Do you have the personality, the marketing, and the business skills to pull this off? And as you walk out of here, you may see a handout on the table out there, and it's from Cornell University, and it's this it's about a 10-page document front to back. And it says, you know, considerations if you're going to get into retail dairy marketing. You turn the page, and it is simply page after page after page after page of questions that you must answer, and absolutely no answers being given to those questions by the folks at Cornell University. So today we're really fortunate that we've got a person who can give some of the answers by his own experience. I would like to introduce you to a director of National All Jersey Incorporated and also the owner of Mapleline Farm, LLC, John Bukowski.
Thank you, Sherry. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Bear for her assistance in putting this program together, and to the HACA for allowing us to share our story with you at this most prestigious event here in Wisconsin. So, without further ado, I guess we'll get started.
We'll get going.
This is a story of one family, descendant of Polish immigrants, settling in the Pioneer Valley town of Hadley, Massachusetts in 1902. When I say being in the right place at the right time, back in 1902 refers to Stanley Bukowski, my great-grandfather. Starting his family and farming career in the Pioneer Valley, or the Connecticut River Valley, a section of Massachusetts starting in southern Franklin County, just south of Brattleboro, Vermont, and extending south to Windsor Locks, Connecticut, just north of Hartford, Connecticut. This swath of land, about 10 to 15 miles wide, on either side of the Connecticut River, is home to some of the most productive agricultural land in all of New England. The soil composition is heavy silt-like loam, and in some areas 1 to 2 feet in depth. Extremely wet years can be difficult because the ground can't take large amounts of water. But in moderately dry years, most crops thrive because the soil retains enough moisture to grow crops. In the early 1900s, crops such as onions, asparagus, tobacco were some of the main crops grown. For many years, up until 1960, Hadley was known as the asparagus capital of the world, raising some of the best asparagus that was even shipped by air to the Queen of England when in season. When I was in school, when asparagus season started in mid-April, school started an hour later to allow students to pick the crop and not be late for classes. Tobacco was another crop that flourished mainly because of the quality leaves that were produced by the climate and the soil makeup Connecticut River Valley was famous and sought out by many cigar companies in the Dominican Republic, such as Arturo Fuente. Having these marketable crops that produce these productive soils was started the story of being in the right place at the right time. Now fast forward to the 50s and 60s, other vegetable crops started to emerge: potatoes, cucumbers, sweet corn. Oxford Pickle Company, a division of John S. Kane, put up pickling process center in Deerfield, Mass., and area farmers brought truckloads of cucumbers to this facility, which placed them in large wooden vats with brine, then packaged them in jars and made relishes. Large-scale potato growers had contracts with Frito-Lay and State Line potato chips that produced a quality potato chip. The sweet corn, especially butter and sugar, a bicolored, sweet-tasting variety, was very popular. All these crops did very well because of the climate and the soil conditions in the valley. So what does all this mean about cows and dairying? Well, in the mid-50s, my father, Henry Jr., started a small commercial dairy operation, milking about 25 grade Holstein and 1 Guernsey cow for table milk. I got involved at this point with milking cows, feeding calves, cleaning gutters, and so on. The cows created another source of year-round income and used some of the less productive pieces of farm land for corn and hay. It also kept us young kids busy on the farm on a year-round basis. In 1965, my adventure started in the Jersey business in a very well thought-out plan process. Not. I chose Jerseys because in my 4-H showing days of Holsteins, I discovered that across the ring, small brown cows were easily pulled around the ring if they did not lead, and there were a lot fewer in the class, therefore blues, reds, instead of yellows, greens, and pinks, or maybe no ribbon at all. Little did I know at that point that this breed would make its mark among the dairy breeds. Again, being in the right place at the right time. After graduating high school and the University of Mass in 1969, I became involved in a trucking business, first as an employee, and then part owner of the trucking company with 15 employees, 10 trucks, and operating at about 125%, and our annual revenues were less than $500,000. When I say operating at 125%, that means we were 25% over what we were making. After 24 years, we sold the trucks in 2000. We had 75 power units, 150 trailers, and over 100 employees, and revenues of $20 million, and operating at 85%. For most of these years, I continue to stay connected with the farm and my Jerseys.
Well, John, let's pick up the story then at the time that you stayed connected, and you had 45 cows in the herd. What opportunities did you see with the Jersey cows as a breed? What did you decide to do?
Well, first off, the area presents itself tremendous marketing potential. We live in a 5-college area with a lot of academia, a lot of population of service people that live in the communities, and I just figured that there had to be a way that we could capture some of those consumers and sell our milk direct to them. Little did I know at that point that we would create a market for Jersey milk, and a lot of the milk customers that we had coming to the farm would tell us how good the Jersey milk actually was. It didn't taste like milk that they were buying in the supermarket, and that the skim milk didn't taste like skim milk. It tasted a lot better. And of course, we know the 1% milk and skim milk with the solids non-fat adds to the flavor of the milk. Later on, find that the coffee shops would tell us that they're frothing and developing coffees that were high-end, that they could take and use our milk, and it would hold up better under their conditions.
Okay. So how did you go about doing the bottling?
Well, when we first started, we didn't have any processing equipment. We found a small plant about 25 miles from us, and they agreed to process our milk for us. So we had to truck the milk down there in this kind of a makeshift tank that was in the back of a truck, and the process went on, and as it started to grow, we had to think about something else, and the process later led to us building a processing plant on the farm, buying the facility that we were taking our milk to, and putting it together so that we didn't have to truck that milk 25 miles one way, go down the next day, pick up the finished goods, and then bring it back home again. This picture here is a picture of our processing facility that we built on the farm. It was a processing plant that was all together, so we didn't have to worry about matching up equipment, and we got our public health officials involved early enough so that when we told them that we were building a processing facility, we told them, you tell us how you want it done, and we'll build it, and then there'll be no problem. So that's what we did.
Okay. So let's go through here. We're going to start with bottling in plastic and then also into glass.
Yeah, we bottle both plastic and glass. As we developed a business in the food service industry, we found that glass wasn't something that they could work well with, so we increased the amount of plastic that we do our bottling in. And but glass is always something that people, especially on a retail level, wanted to have. They thought that glass keeps the milk colder and on the kitchen table, and with recycling, it just made a lot of sense for us to do both. So we did started with glass and then eventually ended up with doing it plastic. Right now, our plastic represents about 75–80% of our bottling, and the glass is the remainder.
Well, let's talk about the process that we're going to show here for a little bit.
That's the bottle washer. The bottles are washed just prior to their filling. They come off the bottle washer here onto a conveyor, and they head right into the plant, right to the filler, so that there's no contamination between washing and filling. This is a 1950s era machine that has been in use on a regular basis ever since we had it at the previous plant and this one here. And it's just a machine that looks old and but still serviceable, and we can still get parts for it. So it's been a valuable piece of equipment for us. This is the filler, and with this filler we can fill quart and half-gallon glass bottles, and we can switch sides on the machine and fill 12-ounce pints, quarts, half-gallons, and gallons right off the same machine.
So you have to hand stamp the dates on here?
On the glass bottles we have to. On the plastic we have a video jet machine that puts the dates on. That's the video jet machine is right in that picture there. You just put the bottles on, and as the bottles go by, the dates get put on, but doesn't work well with the glass bottles. As you can see, we keep our help coming along as soon as they're old enough to stand. And they do advertising for us too. These are our 12-ounce bottles. We put flavored milk in 12-ounce bottles. We started out originally, we had them in 16-ounce bottles, and we had complaints from a lot of mothers saying that they were buying single-serve bottles of milk for their kids, but they couldn't always finish it. So we took their advice. We went to a 12-ounce. We charge the same, and everybody's happy.
So when you are doing the chocolate, how many of these do you do in a day or a week?
We do probably about 40 cases a week in the chocolate alone. We have one of our customers is the University of Mass, and they have about 25 delis or snack shops that we deliver to, and this is a very popular item. Our chocolate milk is, we don't use any syrup that has the high fructose corn syrup in it. We use a cocoa powder, or a relatively quality powder, and cane sugar, and it's kind of a Dutch chocolate as opposed to milk chocolate, and we get all kinds of compliments on our chocolate milk. So, and incidentally, the coffee, we use a coffee extract in sugar, and the strawberry milk, we use a artificial flavoring, but we use beet juice as the coloring agent. So it's all natural, and we're in an area where people are very conscious about healthful food ingredients and sourcing their local products. The picture here is gallons. Most of the gallons go into our food service, restaurants, coffee shops, hotels, bakeries, and we use the other products that are very popular with the coffee shops, of course, is half and half and heavy cream. Bakers and restaurants just love the heavy cream because they can do so much with it. The only alternative product they have is using a food service heavy cream that's been ultra pasteurized, and their claim is that the ultra pasteurization cooks a lot of the natural properties out of the heavy cream that doesn't allow them to do as much with the high-end products that they want. We deliver right through the front door, as you can see. And we try to keep a good line of communication with our customers. That brochure that Nick is holding there is a brochure that both of us are featured. He runs the Black Sheep Deli, and one of our first customers. This is an example of the decorative coffee that they serve, and that is something that our cream allows them to make a decoration on top that increases the price of the coffee.
So you process how many days a week?
Twice a week. We process on Mondays and Thursdays, and we process about 275 to 295,000 pounds of milk a month.
Okay.
We try to stay under the Federal Market Administrator's guidelines or rules.
All right, so the next slide we're going to go to is the general categories of who your customers are. So if you just kind of give us some overview there, and then we're going to go through a sequence of pictures from some of those customers.
Well, as I said, we're located just 2 miles from the University of Mass campus in Amherst, which is the base campus. There's probably about 25,000 to 30,000 students there. They run 5 dining commons, and this year the Princeton Review voted them #1 in the country for food. And I tell you what, if you ever get a chance to eat at a UMass dining common, they start off with a sushi bar, a salad bar, a pizza bar, a dessert bar, and then all the other entrees in between. They eat better than some 5-star restaurants that I've been in. So, but the students get a good taste of what good food is, and they are more and more sourcing local. Atkins Farm Country Market is a market that likes to deal in local products. We have 2 doors in their cooler space here, as you can see, and they're one of our bigger customers on a retail level, and they also cut meat. They have a bakery, and it's a full-service market. Big Y is a chain, and Yankee Candle, this is their flagship store. I imagine everybody knows about Yankee Candle. We're in their snack shop, and then also in their restaurant, which is Chandler's Tavern, and they put a lot of quality meals out, and they use local products. Just some more restaurants. Che Albert in Amherst. Right next door is Henny and Bakery. This is the Black Sheep Deli. All just restaurants that use our product, and they use our name and their menus and everything to get local recognition. This is Champneys is at the Deerfield Inn. Florence Pie Bar is a recent addition. They pretty much just have pies and snacks with their coffees. We get local recognition in a lot of restaurants on their menus, on their menu boards, and even my granddaughter gets in helping me deliver sometimes. But staying close to customers is very important, I think.
How many customers do you have?
We probably have about 125 wholesale customers.
Okay.
And another picture of that delicious cup of coffee. Salon Cafe is another local roastery and kitchen. They serve coffee. This is a picture of Go Berries. It's a local yogurt shop. They developed their signage based on our Jersey cows, and they use our pictures on their walls, and it's something that they think gives it added flavor. When you get into a college town, there's a lot of different ideas that fly around. So, Greenfields Market is a natural food co-op. You can see we're among some elite organic valley products, and Henyon Bakery is another local bakery that insists on using all local ingredients. High Horse is a sandwich and restaurant that makes a lot of their own stuff. And we even get into the tea business. They think that using our product in their tea puts out a quality product. Name recognition is a big thing, especially in a small community. Woodstar Cafe is just another coffee shop. Coffee seems to be, I think we're in Washington or Portland, Oregon sometimes when I think about all the coffee shops that we deal with.
Yeah.
We even get recognition on their, on some of the menus of the local restaurants. Being a college town, there's a lot of these small shops that use local ingredients, and Eastside Grill is a dinner spot that gives a lot of local people a very good meal. Johnny's Tavern uses our stuff. You see the milk chocolate there. And then we also get onto their beverage, alcoholic beverage menus. So Lone Wolf is another breakfast and lunch spot. Everybody seems like they try to outdo themselves on the local thing, but we're going to write it for all it's worth. Hotel Northampton is an icon in the Northampton area. That little ball on the top is not the World Dairy Expo, but it's they use that at New Year's Eve. Richardson's uses our cream in making their fudge and in some of their coatings for their chocolates, all hand dipped. Everybody likes to connect with local products, and this one here is a shelf at Whole Foods, and Whole Foods doesn't need any introduction, but you can see we take our space among a lot of known wholesome food products.
So these customers, what is your service area?
Our service area is roughly about a 15 to 20 mile radius of the farm, and all those 125 customers are pretty much within that area. So it gives us a short distribution travel, but a lot of distribution in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But there's also some of your products that go to the Boston metro area.
We
is that
do
correct?
have one distributor in the Boston area that wanted to jump, I call it on the bandwagon, because they wanted a local product. They deliver, they're a high-end food distributor, and they wanted a product that they could deliver to the Boston market. And so we have orders that we fill on each bottling day, and we take it to them, and they do all the distribution, and that's all we have to do with that. But they're doing very well. They'd like us to do a lot more.
Okay. So one of the things here, I was listening to the amount of milk you said that you bottle a week, and that's a lot more than 45 Jersey cows, and then you went to 60. So why don't you talk about how the Jersey herd at Mapleline Farm has developed over the years?
Well, since 1995, when we first started, we haven't done any advertising or anything. It's just kind of come to us. We started with a retail store, which we've since closed because it only represented less than 5% of our business, and the wholesale business just kept on growing. So we took and stopped the store and just stayed with wholesale, and that seemed to just keep going, and the Jersey milk just kept on selling itself.
Mm-hmm. So the herd today is how many cows?
We're milking about 135, and we're also purchasing some milk because we can't keep up with the demand with our own.
And herd production is?
We're about 17, a little bit better than 17,000 pounds.
At 5% fat?
5% fat. And the fat is the thing, if I could have 10% Jersey cows, and I don't think I'd still be able to fill my market, because I have calls all the time for more heavy cream.
Okay. One of the things that we talked about when I visited was your emphasis in the parlor on milk quality and how important that is.
Yeah, milk quality when you're direct marketing is a huge thing. We try to keep our somatic cell about 100 to 125, 150,000. Shelf life is important, and I think if you taste product that has low somatic cell, and the customers can recognize if the shelf life is curtailed right off the bat if the somatic cell gets higher. So we strive to keep somatic cell at a low point.
Okay. And what's your land base?
Our land base, we have about 150 acres that we own, and we probably farm or rent an additional 100 acres. It's pretty much all right around the farm, so we don't have to travel too far. And just corn and some alfalfa, but mostly just mixed grass, haylage, and then some dry hay.
Okay. So a farm that's been in the family this long, you have facilities that have some old, that have some new, that have some repurposed. So would you just take us on a tour of the farm here really briefly?
Well, this is the milk parlor out front, the front view of it. This was the addition that we put up in 2004, and then just recently we added more cattle housing, so that we have approximately 200 head or stalls for cows. We try to keep everything as comfortable as possible and as clean as possible. When you're in the forefront of putting product out, you want to keep a nice image, and it's one thing that we strive to do.
Mm-hmm. So I think we're going to go to, well, let's wait here a second, into the old barn and tell us.
There's a milk parlor.
Yeah, the parlor first. This can expand to a double seven.
Double
correct?
seven, right? That's a double
Okay.
4 now, but it can go to a double 7.
Very workable, very clean.
Yeah.
People can come and visit anytime.
Yeah, we have a
and-
lot of tours and everything. This is the
old
calf
barn.
barn, which is our old milking barn, and this allows us to transition calves from individual pens into stalls, and then eventually into a freestall operation for ready-to-breed heifers. That's a converted tobacco barn that we made into a freestall for peppers that were breeding and at breeding age.
Okay. Well, you have a very unique story about how you handle your manure, nutrient management, but also it connects to the wastewater management for the processing plant. So will you tell us about that?
Okay, all the wastewater from our milk plant goes into the reception pit with our manure, and it's pumped into the slurry, and from there we use it as everybody else does on the farm. But I think the amount of milk waste that goes in there actually adds to the nutrient value of what we put on our land.
Mm-hmm. But this was a first time for this kind of a setup to be done, correct?
We teamed up with NRCS, and they were able to give us funding on that because a system like this would have been kind of out of reach for us to do it on our own. But through their help, we were able to put in the reception pits and the slurry in order to do this.
Okay. So is this system adequate for your needs today?
It's bulging at the seams, let's put it that way.
Okay.
And so our next thing would be to put in another slurry store just for the added cows but I guess for the time being we're going to have to make it work.
Okay. So another thing that's very interesting, and I'm sure you already have noticed it, are the photovoltaic panels that are on the barn. So let's talk about your excursion in solar energy.
We had a small system that for about the last 5 years it was only a 10 kW, and
shown here, right?
this is the new 100, and there's the old one right in the middle there. The new one is 140, and so we have a total of 150 kW now, and it's sized because our farm is in a restricted covenant APR, so we could only generate the power that we could use on the farm. So we have approximately 150 kW system, and that is supposed to be most of the energy that we would use on the farm. And that system just got up and going this past summer, and we haven't got the full results of it because we've just gone online about a month now. So, but hopefully it'll be a match for our usage.
Okay. So when I was there in late August, it was very clear to me that you have, and you've already talked about this, you know, your name recognition, you're on menus and other things. But you know, you've developed your brand in a lot of very unique and low cost ways. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, I found that keeping close to the community, doing a lot of things that were community related, getting your name out there was the best way. We haven't paid for any advertising that cost us a lot of money because we just felt that if we put our product out there, it was received, it was a product that was well received and satisfied our customers, that it would sell itself, and that's pretty much the way we've done it. And we host tours for school kids. We host tours for the University of Massachusetts. We've got a professor there that's done the school tours from the university so many times that he says, I don't even have to be there anymore.
Talk about this organization.
CISA is a local community involved in sustaining agriculture, and it's not just dairy, but it's also vegetables and fruit, and they are very aggressive doing advertising of local products. They do farm tours. They do seminars on utilizing local products in both vegetables, fruits, dairy, and they also have a local program with restaurants, and they go out and put the producers with the restaurants and have local events that introduce our people in our area to both the restaurants and the farm producers. That last shot was a brochure, which I've got a few copies here that they put out. We have a visual room in our plant that school tours and can come and see what we're doing. It gives them an idea of what the machinery does in the plant. And then we had a tour with a lot of political leaders. Jim McGovern is our senator, and that's Edward Alvarez from the USDA, and he was on our farm, and they like to find out if you have problems, if you have interests, and surprisingly, the more people that, in terms of legislators and political people that we can get on. We're on TV quite a few times, especially during that visit when we had all those politicians there. It gives you a lot of exposure, and that's exposure that you don't have to pay for.
Well, let's talk about some more exposure. So you've already talked about your alma mater, the University of Massachusetts at Amherst, which is located, what, 2 miles? 2
yeah.
miles away from the farm. Literally, you see the buildings off in the distance. They have this website for their dining halls. And they do, as you can see here, it's called the Farmer of the Week. And so here's their particular feature story at that point in time. But they also do some other interesting things. So what we're going to do is play a video that was produced by UMass Dining, and then John can talk about it a little bit more.
Jerseys are special in a number of ways. They're the smallest breed of dairy cattle. They have the highest content of milk fat, protein, and solids non-fat, and they also have the smallest carbon footprint. We have a local product that we're producing right here, and UMass is 2 miles away. It just makes sense for both of us to work together in providing a quality product to the students at UMass. Students at the university now are more and more conscious of what they're eating. A lot of them come from a city environment, and they don't have any exposure to rural agriculture or rural settings, and when they come out here, they kind of fall in love with the area.
UMass Dining.
That's marketing, right?
Didn't have to pay for it
And
either.
you didn't have to pay for it either. And you're even selling the product, so it's even better than that.
Yeah.
But John, when it comes to your relationship with this particular customer, you are engaged with them all the time and the students.
Right. We a couple times during the school year, they have what they call farm days, because they not only source milk, but they also source vegetables and fruits from area growers, and they set up a night where they bring in their vendors, and they actually pay for a product that we hand out to them in addition to what's available on the food line. And we can tell our story, they can ask us questions, and at the same time they get a little insight as to where their food is sourced and how close it's sourced to where the actual school is.
And you're building customers for life.
Hopefully, yes. Yep. Because there's more and more students that attend the university that come from outside the area, and we find that there's more and more coming back to the area.
Ah, interesting. Well, here's another video I'm going to share with you. We're just going to run it first. Get prepared, because here it comes. is, the journey of milk from Mapleline to this creamery. John, tell us a little bit about this. This was involved.
Right. It was involved. It took quite a while. It took a whole day to do that commercial, and I can't tell you the number of times that I lifted that pail and turn it this way, turn it that way, you turn that way, you turn this way. And the only good thing about that was before I started doing it, they actually had a professional crew come out and do it, and they had a makeup room. And Felicia got to put makeup on me. So, but it was amazing to see that the arduous time and hours that goes into making a commercial like that. And this particular sequence was a story about the milk traveling from the farm to the actual manufacturing of the ice cream. As you could see at the end, when they make their ice cream, they make it in a Hobart mixer, and then they add the liquid nitrogen to it to freeze it. And they use all natural ingredients, natural fruits, flavorings and everything. And when they put that scoop of ice cream in front of you, it's $5, so.
They want good milk,
Yeah.
that's for sure. So finally, we're going to go to the first time that you made it into the big media, okay, on the Food Network. And this was early in the first season of Tyler Florence and his show that some of you may know called Tyler's Ultimate. We're going to run the video, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it.
Let's check out an ice cream genius named Steve Harrell.
He started out in 1973, and he was the first person to figure out that chopped up Heath bar folded into vanilla ice cream is the most brilliant thing on the planet.
He has 2 stores in Boston and 1 in Northampton, and a lot of experts, including Ben and Jerry, took their inspiration from Steve, and they say that Steve Harrell is the godfather of premium ice cream. Steve's ice cream owes its richness to the quality of the cream, which he gets from a dairy farm down the road in Hadley, Massachusetts. It's right in the middle of rural pasture land, and that means the creamiest cream imaginable. John Bukowski, who owns Mapleline Farms, runs his family business the old-fashioned way by treating his beautiful Jersey cows like royalty.
Being a farmer is, being out in the country, being out in the fresh air, being your own boss.
Absolutely, yeah.
Milk is a staple in the food chain. Things like ice cream are a real specialty.
Absolutely,
Desserts are
Cow juice, baby.
Yeah, this
Cow
is a
juice.
real thing.
Yeah, it's a real deal.
And jerseys are, they're higher in butterfat, and the yield rate is a lot higher.
It's like, oh.
Yeah,
right
she
behind
likes
the ears,
that.
like, oh. How many cows you got?
We've got about 100 cows on the farm here, and we milk 45 to 50.
Milking. It's all electronic now, right?
But it's vacuum.
Right. Do you have a good...
Oh,
hand for that?
I can still do it.
You know how to do it?
Yeah.
Will you show me how?
Oh, sure. This is Thelma.
Thelma, hey, listen, Thelma, I'm sorry about this. I'm a first-timer, all right? Don't kick me, whatever you do. Okay, so how do you do this? It's like there's one here, one here.
Yeah. You
Just,
yeah. You do it.
you got it? I just give a little squirt like that?
There you go. Hey. Pretty good,
Hey, look at that.
huh? Look at that, huh? Yeah. You got the hang of it.
Look at that, look at
Looking
that,
for a
look at that. No.
No.
Poor Thelma. It's just like, hey, it's not my good side, all right? I think I'm getting a little rhythm down here.
You almost got enough to make some ice cream there.
Maybe, I don't know. Don't you have like a store or something?
Yeah, we got a store.
So it's certainly a lot easier than milking a cow, let me tell you. Hey, thanks a lot. It was cool.
With milk from these Jersey cows, Steve Harrell is going to show me his recipe for the creamiest malted vanilla ice cream on the planet. I don't think I'm going to be milking cows again anytime soon.
All right, so what are you going to start with?
All right, sorry about that. We'll let that fade out. So here's a video shot in 2003, and it is still online on Food Network, okay? So talk about this and the experience.
Well, it was, first off, it was probably just a great thing just to have Tyler Florence come to your farm. I mean, how many people have done that? But it's something where it gives you exposure that is, you don't have to pay for one, And it not only sells our product, but it also sells dairy in general. And that's one thing that we strive to do is, you know, we have a product that we think is superior to most products on the store shelves, but at the same time, our philosophy is that all milk is good and all dairy products are good. It's just ours is a little bit better.
Okay. So something like this gives you name recognition and exposes you to lots of different aspects of the media, and now you're on their radar scene. What happens when that happens?
Well, the local TV stations, when there's any event to do with dairy, whether it's good or bad, they come out and they want to interview you. With most of the news people, we're almost on a first-name basis, and they keep file footage of our farm and our operation at their station. So if there's anything new in the dairy business comes, they'll use our footage, or they'll come out and interview us and get our opinions and our insight as to it. And it's advertising that you know is priceless and you couldn't afford to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just building relationships with the media in that regard that it helps the total dairy business, but it also helps us individually.
Okay. So more than a century now, it's a family farm. It's looking to be that way from the folks that you had running around in the processing video. Who's involved today? Who's coming up through the ranks?
Well, my two daughters are involved, and my wife is involved, grandkids are involved, son-in-law, and we also have a total of, with family and hired help, 13 people operating the farm. But it's not just the farm part, it's also the distribution and processing of the milk. So at this point, I'd like to introduce my family that's here. My wife, Elaine.
Go ahead and stand up, Elaine. You can do it. It's okay.
My daughter, Jennifer. My daughter, Jessica. And Jessica's husband, Chad, runs the field work and maintenance on all the farm. And it's something everybody has their own thing to do, and it works out very well. We've got grandkids coming up. Jessica has 2 boys, and Jennifer has a boy and a girl. And as you could see in the film, we get them involved early, and they're all raring to go just about every day. And so we keep them coming up through the ranks, and hopefully someday they'll stay at the farm.
That'd be great. So yesterday, today, we've gone through that. What are you looking at for tomorrow?
Well, we're at kind of a decision point. I mentioned the federal order early on. Between the milk that we produce and the milk that we source from other farms, we're at the point where we have to make the decision: should we jump and do more milk outside the order or become part of the order? And that's our dilemma right now. We know we could sell the milk, but at what cost? With milk being as cheap as it is now, or I shouldn't say that, there's a lot of dairy, inexpensive. It would be very easy for us to stop producing milk and just buy milk and put it in a bottle. But the thing that prevents us from doing that is the fact that we've developed such a market for Jersey milk and Jersey cream, and that, you know, we want to keep that going. And there's not another Jersey farm very close to us where we can source that. We've tried to get some of our neighbors to convert to Jerseys, and they're just regular commercial Holstein guys, and they're not. I guess I probably haven't been a good salesman, but they're just not ready to make that jump. But if we could locate a Jersey farm right next door to us where we could source the milk easily, we could sell all that we could put through the plant.
Okay. Well, let's turn the program over to the audience. I hope that there are some questions out there. I'll give you a chance to. Here we go.
If you're buying milk, then you're buying from non-Jersey farms?
one guy has a few jerseys in his herd. It's a small Holstein operation, and the other is a brown Swiss farmer on the other side of town. And we try to get milk that's, got some of the components that are close to Jersey, but we just, we have to get what we can, and there's just no jerseys that are close by. The closest Jersey farm that we have to us is Hylon, and they got their own business going. So, so
Right here.
You mentioned that you're using natural sugar rather than high fructose corn syrup. Had you ever used high fructose and then moved away from it?
yeah, we used to buy a pre-mixed or ready-to-use chocolate syrup that had the high fructose corn syrup in it. And when you do business with Whole Foods, they don't allow you to use any unnatural ingredients. And when we did that changeover, we actually found that it was a less expensive way to make chocolate milk, and it was a better tasting product.
Interesting. Other questions, right here.
So you talked about natural a lot. I mean, when a consumer asks you about that, how do you define your milk as natural?
Well, we don't have it. We don't put any additives in it other than and of course the flavorings. I know the big thing out there now is we don't use any BST, which I guess a lot of dairies don't. And the other thing is the GMO corn. And so our consumers are very much on the radar as far as GMO corn. We tell them, we try to be as honest as we can with them. We tell them that, and right now about 60 to 70% of our corn that we grow is non-GMO. We'd grow more of it if we could get the seed, but when Pioneer and Monsanto are joined together, it's pretty hard to get source corn seed that is not GMO.
Right back here.
Follow up on that. Do you think there's a profitable niche if you could come out tomorrow and tell your customers, particularly some of these young people that are asking about all non-GMO or say 100% grass? I mean, I understand with your structure there, you can't do that on the grass side, but the question is, do you think that's a profitable niche against small or differentiate yourself?
In our particular case, no, because we're at the stage where we need a little bit more volume. There are some local farms that are making artisan cheeses, yogurt that either are seasonal grazers or grass-fed. A lot of grass-fed beef out our way, but grass-fed milk, the land base especially around us is, there's more houses and more people than there are spaces of land to grow feed products for cattle.
Okay, right here.
How did your farm get its name?
That's a unique story. Years ago, if you remember the shot that was of the old homestead, there was a line of big maples. And in 1957, we got city water or town water through on our farm, and the installation of the pipes cut all the roots of all the trees that are on the belt line of the street, and so we lost all the maples. But I still remember very vividly that line of maples going down the edge of the farm, and it was something that always stuck in my mind, so I incorporated into our farm name. We have, but trees don't grow that fast. But we have planted more trees along in the farm. But that was the basis for naming the farm.
They especially don't grow if they're never planted.
Yeah. Yeah. But we've put more in away from the road, so we are replenishing.
We have a question back here.
So do the cows all drink city water?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Chlorinated,
We have, our town water supply is deep well water in some cases, and so a lot of it is not chlorinated, but once in a while the wells get an off flavor or something that they do chlorinate, and they test and monitor the water supply, so they have to do it. But we've, up until a couple years ago, our town water was some of the best in the valley.
Right here.
Has any major corporations come in and try to buy you out?
No, no, no. In our area, there are a lot of cheese manufacturers that are on a small scale, and I don't think that, I mean, we have Dean Foods, which locally has the Grelick brand. We have Hood and Agrimark, so they're large scale. At this point, I don't think that we're, you know, on their radar, so to speak.
But the culture of that particular area is very much towards small farm. It's a different kind of a customer base.
Yeah, it is, and it's not just with dairy, it's with vegetables, you know, fruit, and all facets of agriculture, locally grown with the population that is there. And when you get 5 college people in saturated an area like that, you know, they seek out locally grown, organic, whatever.
Okay.
So.
One last question from anybody? Oh, we've got 2, so let's start here and we'll go here. That's great.
In terms of your handling the herd and working with the animals, do you do anything special as far as, you know, treating them in special ways, or each cow individually gets some special attention in terms of your animals?
Well, we'd like to say that all our cows are special, but you know, we try to keep our comfort level of our cows at a maximum of what we can do and still maintain, you know, a good herd size. You know, ventilation is an important thing. We have a calf facility, what we converted from the old milking barn, and we try to get them started on a good foot and growing good. We have nutritionists that come and test our feed to make sure that you know, we're getting the maximum amount of our forages in conversion to product that we're milking.
Okay, and over here.
How many acres on the farm, what do you raise for forage? What is your ration consist of?
We put together a TMR, but we raise about 110 acres of corn, probably about another 100 acres of combination of, depending on what type of land it is grasses, timothy, clover. We've got a few fields of pure alfalfa, but like I told in the beginning of the presentation, we're so low and our land is so heavy loam that alfalfa sometimes doesn't do as well. So we put just about everything in the silo and it gets mixed up, but we still manage to put together, you know, some pretty decent haylage. And so we mix corn silage, haylage, some dry hay, and then a grist that's ground soybean meal. And like I said, our nutritionist changes the additives that he puts in that on an as-needed basis.
Okay. Well, I think, well, let's go ahead and we'll take one more question and then we're going to have to cut it off like our neighbors next door.
This question on the ration, so what feed stuff is actually GMO in the ration?
Just our corn silage. And like I said, it's about 70% non-GMO. And we actually had extra corn this year that because we had a pretty decent crop. And the amount of corn that we had, about 20 acres of corn that was left over, and it just happened to be the GMO corn. So ended up selling most of the GMO corn.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you all for coming today, but we also really want to thank John for taking time to make the trip out here and present the program today. So would you please join me in a round of applause of appreciation? Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.